Hello, everybody. So close. So close to getting all 3 points. So damn close, man. I was feeling it. I was really feeling it. I really thought maybe we finally may have turned a corner after McGee scored that goal. But I thought about it a little bit. I wasn't sure that that was a pass from Brooks Lennon. And when I thought that, I realized this wasn't the product of a well-working offense. This is a bit of a fluke and not something you can expect to repeatedly do. Now that I thought that, I thought, I don't think this game is going to go in our way. Even though we got that early goal, the mood setter, if you will. A lot of times, that goal gets called back. You know, foul, offside, etc. This time it didn't. I thought maybe, even if it was a fluke, it could propel our guys in terms of confidence to at least try and see out the result. Unfortunately, that also was not to be the case. No, we really fell off. After around like 25 minutes of solid playing, which I thought we were absolutely in the game. No, around after the goal, slightly after, so that came around the 20-minute period. So a little bit after that, the team was completely different. They completely fell off. Nashville decided to turn it up. They completely started dominating in terms of possession, pinned us back in our half, and just started peppering us with attacks. Eventually, the dam broke in a corner kick. It took a while, but it eventually did, and we saw it coming. You felt it coming with how much possession with purpose that they had. And it didn't look like we were going to have a response. Every time we had the ball and tried to make our way forward, it all of a sudden started looking like the previous games again. Falling apart in the attack. Listlessly driving down the field to nowhere. Guys just going, oh, now that I'm here, what do I do with it again? All the frustrating stuff that we've unfortunately come to know as this team. So despite an interesting and encouraging start, probably based on the formation changes that Atl put in, they reverted. They went back to the same stuff that we were afraid that they would start with. So while there's at least maybe some progress being made in the formation change, it still unfortunately isn't enough yet. And of course it probably wouldn't be. You know, it's not like the just pull the lever, team plays good now type thing. There was always going to be a betting in time with when Atl got here with the system he implemented and with any kind of changes he makes to any system he puts in. So he made a change, and if we're going to roll with this now, which, you know, could be potentially promising, it's going to take some time for the players to get used to it again. So while we at least weren't held scoreless this game, it's still not looking great yet. And it's really, really unfortunate because I was hoping for some kind of miracle here, some kind of sign that things might turn around. But I think we are going to be still looking for that. With that, I'm going to be joined by AJ in 1 second and have him give you his takes on the match before we get into the fan segment with some guests coming in today. So let me just do that real quick and then get... All right, AJ, that is the wrong... We'll be doing the wheel later. That was the wrong transition. But there you go. AJ, welcome. How you doing? You were at the game. How did it feel? What did it look like? And yeah, give us the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was, kind of a kind of tepid atmosphere, I would say. The supporter section, of course, always as loud as they can be. The drums were, I think, louder than usual in a sense. Maybe trying to pick up the slack. A lot of late arriving people, but yeah, it's a kind of wait and see what the team can do type of energy, and lots of empty seats. They gave away some shirts, so try to what's the word? I guess not barter, but basically incentivize people. That hey, there's gonna be some giveaways because yes, we suck, so let's spend some money in getting people into the stadium in the future because, yep, all the little intangibles, really difficult to kind of sustain throughout the years. And yeah, as far as this game, I mean, we started off well, like you said, like it's encouraging stuff. But it's a falling back into these, I don't even say it's like comfort, because it's not comfortable. It's very much where the team just cannot seem to play for full 90 minutes. And, it's, again, something that we're harping on, but like, we're on match 10, and if there's fatigue levels, and it's not even where these players are on international duty and they're traveling all over the place. I mean, they haven't gone on international duty in quite some time. Like, the reasons why, who knows? Like, it's as far as fitness wise, this should not be happening. So, either the training sessions are too long or too much, or these guys just simply do not have the stamina levels. And yeah, that's if that's collective, that doesn't make sense, right? So but yeah, as far as our goal, it's well worked. There was some good one-touch play, and then there was the Amador cross that was punched out by the keeper. Lennon in a great spot to anticipate it and finds Miggy inside the mixer to be able to put it away with his right foot. I mean, that's really probably the only place that he can actually put it away with his right foot, because no slight against Miggy, but Newcastle fans all over the X timeline are like, wow, he actually finished with his right foot. Like, it seems like, they were saying, it seems like he was playing against us when he was with Newcastle. Like, that's the vibe. So, yeah, Miggy finally getting in some goal scoring positions as well, really good. But, yeah, a little perplexing. I feel like he should have been miffed that he got taken off. It's he's one of the DPs. I mean, yes, he may be tired a little bit, but yeah, it's one of those, him being taken off instead of Moranchuk or some of these other guys.
One of our,
just
basically our only goal scoring threat at the moment was taken off.
Right. Exactly. Like, it didn't make much sense to me. But beyond that, it's this. Okay, so the fortune nod at left wing, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Like, he played pretty well in the first match, but this match, it was just like, yeah, he needs to be playing central midfield.
We didn't do much with going down the left-hand side, except for Pedro Amador.
Exactly, and maybe that is the aim, is that we're gonna try to play more on the right side, but I don't really see that either. It was, like, if we're gonna be a little bit more right-handed heavy or right-sided heavy, okay, maybe, but like, it's just okay. Yeah, you have Amador, he's the lone wing presence, and maybe Fortune is tucking in a little bit more, but no, I mean, he was kind of situated a little bit more, on the left wing, and he looked a little lost. It wasn't where, yeah, he had the wherewithal and the know-how to know where to be, to, have the right actions as well, body shape. to be able to receive it and to go on the turn. It just it seemed a little silly.
Just to comment on that, I'm looking at Johnny Fortune's heat map right now. Very rarely ever anywhere close to near the Nashville byline. Basically, he pulled up way before that every time.
Yeah. And so, maybe that was by design, but either way, I think Moranchuk playing the 8, it did seem a little bit better at first, but it still is. It's just like we're hiding a deficiency, essentially. Yes, he may lead the team in key passes and creative chances, but it's because he's in the 10 position. Like, yeah, you should. Our number 10 should lead the team in those categories. But has he registered enough assists, goals to live up to his price tag? No. So, yes, it's one of these things where, okay, I think we can persist maybe with Moranchuk in the A position a little bit longer. I think he and Click, okay, it seemed all right. There wasn't a massive defensive deficiency, but it also was against a side where, like, Nashville, yes, dangerous, but it's more where it's their forwards. It's not where they're finding the pockets of space. They're more running in behind. They're more running at the center backs. So I think that feature works in this game, but I don't think it'll work in every single game. So one of them will probably have to make way for somebody else that has to do a little bit more of the dirty work. And Click did a little bit of the dirty work in this match. He tracked back for one of the kind of counterattacks on the wing on our left side to be able to see out a ball. And I think it's also it's like when Miggy scored, he was trying to rev up the crowd. I like to see that. The Louisa Brahm, preventing a ball from getting to the inline, and then not only saving it but then kicking it out for a throw-in. And the fans really appreciated that. That's where I see more fight for the club, for the badge. And I think fans are it's like they're right in a way to say that, okay, the last, or the 60 minutes after the first 30 minutes, still not great, but it's like we blacked out the last 3 games.
Yeah.
Like that was miles better than the last 3 games. That's for sure. Does it make it, okay, yeah, we're the best thing since sliced bread? No, but we have to really be contextual with where we've been, and it's been abhorrent is where we've been. So, okay, it's a step in the right direction. Should we have kept this clean sheet? Should we have probably tried to score another goal? I almost felt like they kind of pulled up. They put the handbrake on a little bit.
Yeah, no, 100%. We were pinned. We were absolutely pinned.
Yeah.
And I was not sure whether that was our decided tactics to play on the counter and sit back, which is not typically what we do. So I thought that was interesting and potentially a good idea. But at the same time, I thought perhaps just Nashville turned it up and was just taking, similar to when we played Inter Miami. Yeah, we wanted to play on the ball and protagonist football, but we weren't allowed to. And Nashville may have been that same way here. We weren't allowed to get on the ball. That could also have been the case. We were forced to play counterattacking, and thus, actually, that's what Nashville wanted. And they ended up looking the better team out of this because of it.
Yeah, which is different because they're more of a defensive side historically. But this time, it's I think the first 30 minutes we actually we were preventing them from really getting many chances at all in our half, less alone our box. But I think we got sloppy. I think that's really where their press probably got a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, just to go look at this, like to that point, their first half XG is 0.27. Their second half is 1.25.
Yeah. And it's possession with purpose, which is what it was. And
talk about a drop off.
Yeah. And so for us, it's like, yeah, okay. I think it's just, can we do what we did in the first 30 minutes for the entire match? And it just doesn't make any sense why we can't. Because I think we have some technicians to be able to do that. But again, we get sloppy. And Brooks Lennon, as good as the ball in for the assist was, and now he's our assist leader at 40, Miggy's our second highest leading goal scorer in our history. But Lennon, it's like the sloppy balls.
I think it's not bizarre to say that it's possible that Lennon was not passing that shot and that was an accident. I think it's possible to say that.
It very well could have been, because this is what, like, he puts enough balls in that, I mean, it's on accident that things can happen. Yeah. Especially in the middle. Like, if he had stood up that ball to the back post, I don't know. Yeah, it might have gone out. Who knows? But I think he at least made the right decision to keep it on the ground. And, that's where chaos can happen. So, okay. Either way, good on him for that. But in possession, really trying to make things happen in the middle of the park, that's where he is found out. Like, time and time again. Because against Orlando, running into traffic, it's just completely just inane thinking. And then this match, like, I'm not sure if his ball that basically I'm not even sure who he was trying to find, but very loose ball. And I think it led to a counter. I'm not sure if it led to the corner, but either way, that one ball puts us completely out when it's like there is no safety in his possession, essentially, in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
Like, it basically is like, yes, he needs to stay out on the wing and just completely stay out of the middle of the park where there's traffic, because, he's going to get found out, and it happens time and time again. But yeah.
Speaking about running into people, I mean, Moranchuk just running into traffic instead of doing anything with it. It's just, that's frustrating.
Right. And that's pretty clear that it's a thing where we want him to play more of the 8. I wonder if he's as press resistant as we need him to be in that position. So it's that. It's like, he needs to be the pass before the pass, essentially, that gets us into the final third, that creates the good chance. And I think it's this: we didn't feed Emmanuel Atl enough.
No.
In this match, like, we have this prolific goal scorer, and we can't seem to find the best type of chances for him.
He barely touched the ball this game.
Yeah, it was one chance, and he was found on the right, and I think he was trying to cut in, and then he took probably one or two more touches than he probably preferred, and the chance was gone pretty much, and so he had to lay it off, I think. And it's just one of these things where it's like, I think that was his best chance. That was it. Like, the very fact that you have this goal scorer and you cannot find the best ways to have him score when he can score in very different ways. And it's insane. But as well, we have incredibly fast players as our forwards in Saba, in Miggy, and Emmanuel Atl, but we cannot coordinate a press.
Yeah. And
because if we could, we'd be running riot on teams. Because, I mean, with Miggy, with ELL, both of them, like, they get very close to getting a lot of different types of, different spaces, different defenders areas, and like I don't think we've seen that. Like after the first couple matches, we haven't seen our press look really coordinated or just kind of.
Yeah, I mean, nothing about this team fulfills the definition of coordinated at all. Like, there's no coordination. Yeah. There's no chemistry. There's nothing going on between the players. They just are like 11 individuals who know nothing about each other and how to play with them, running around on the field together. That's what it looks like, and that's what the results seem to bear out. I mean, talent alone is what's at least giving us a goal this game, and maybe some luck. Outside of that, there's no system. Like I said with Brooks' assist and Miggy's goal, that's not repeatable. We can plan on that every game to get that. It's like, no, you just toss it in the middle and get lucky. That's not a recipe for success. So I don't see anything that's letting me be terribly bullish with this team going forward if they continue to just not have any chemistry whatsoever.
I think there were some moments where we played some one-touch football that early on in the.
Not really. I counted the amount of one-touch passes we did this game. It was less than 10. It's ridiculous.
I guess there was, maybe a couple sequences where I was like, "Ooh, okay, we're actually trying to, play fast." And again, it's not something that we continually do.
No.
So,
and other teams do it way more, way more. So. Not even close.
And that's the issue. That is the issue, is that we positionally are not in the right places so that we can actually do that.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem. But,
and players just don't know where other players are going to be, so it takes them 5 hours when they receive the ball to then turn, look, okay, he's over there, who should I pass to? By then, everyone is closed down. Now it's hurried, and the pass goes errant. And then you're Moranchuk in our own half, and you somehow skate it past 3 different players for a turnover randomly. That was one of the strangest passes I've seen him make. That should have probably ended in a Nashville goal. I don't know why. I mean, Nashville was a little off their game today. I feel like they did not do that good. They're outside of their goal, which was a corner kick, so it wasn't like they were just. I didn't see their goals coming in bunches, but I was like, they deserved 1 or 2. But it was, I'm surprised that they didn't hit home at least one more.
Right, and it's this. I mean, we somehow escaped without getting a touchdown scored on us, and I think that's the ultimate win here. Is that we didn't get embarrassed. So that's the plus side. That's the encouraging part, because the way the past couple of weeks has gone, I mean, this is a miles better result than what we've faced.
Which is sad. Yeah.
Absolutely sad. The bar is so low that I'm not celebrating this, but it's like I'm just at the very least I'm not shaking my head for the entire week.
Yeah.
So.
And we need to get three hung on us. There's that at least. All right, Nick, welcome. How are you doing? How did it feel being at the game for you?
Hi guys. Hello everyone. Direct from Art Center Station in Midtown. On my way home. I personally got ahead of myself at halftime, and I was thinking, we're doing good, we're playing good, and then I remembered, oh crap, there's 45 more minutes to go.
And we historically conceded in the early first or second period or half. So,
and I will tell you that I turned to Chris, my sister on the flag for All Stripe, and I said, I worry about this defense. And sure enough, that was when it went in. Right after I said that, clockwork.
Yeah.
I felt it coming.
Yep. I was saying in Discord, I was telling people it is coming. This is not good. We are pinned back, not because we want to be, This isn't like our strategy. We're not doing counterattacking soccer. We are forced back because Nashville wants that, and it's working. And it eventually did.
They pressed the hell out of us, and they got a goal out of it.
Yep.
Because if you compare the play of the first half to the second half, it's a two totally different halves of soccer. You wouldn't actually say it was the same game.
Yeah.
It's like you're watching two different games.
Yeah, and the metrics bear
That's
that
the way
out
it's
when
been
you see.
this season. Yeah.
Yeah, when you see on Apple TV, because you guys didn't see it, but at home on the broadcast, they have that momentum index tracker. It was like a little bit after Atlanta's goal. It was like all Atlanta, exclusively momentum, like big momentum too. And then right after that, massive drop off to 100% Nashville momentum for the rest of the game. Like what
It tracks.
What the heck? Like, why? Where did that drop off come from? Why did it happen? Was it something Nashville did? Did they change something all of a sudden? And then that just unraveled us? Or did we run out of gas? I don't know. What the heck happened?
I will also say this, is that we saw it on the Halo board in the stadium. AJ, I assume you were there.
Yep.
Yep. That after Miggy got that yellow card, a ridiculous yellow card, we could tell he said bullshit up on the Halo board.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we got. I think we got 3 yellow cards, and I think 2 of them weren't really that deserved. And but it is what it is. It's
Yeah, 3.
like it's one of these. Like, it didn't really affect the game, but yeah, there was a little bit of some weird calls. Whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, as far as Miggy, it's like I think he, in the 10, I think it looked a lot better than Moranchuk.
Yeah.
But
what do you feel?
He looked lively out there in the 10 position. I mean, I think it was an improvement from having Moranchuk there. Is he a 10? I'm not sure. It feels like we need another number 10, and I don't know who that is.
Ooh,
that's
a tough call.
That's hilarious because it's like, yeah, we have 2 number 10s, and even though it's like Ronnie Dyla has said, like, oh yeah, we have actually 4 number 10s. We have a bunch of guys that can play in that position. It's like, right now, yeah, right now we have I think 1.5, and that's adding them all together maybe because it's
yeah,
because there's just not enough chance creation. I mean, we're at home, and yeah, we only created like about 1 XG. Like, it's just not good enough.
That's low. That's pathetic. I mean,
yeah.
You talk
Like,
about a whale floundering on the beach. That's what our offense is lately.
Yeah, exactly. And it's this. It's like, so our defense finally, pretty much doesn't concede 3, and yeah, we can only score 1, and we drop off heavily in the second half. It's just, yeah, at least it's something different. But it's this. It's like in the Pineda years, we kind of had probably about 3 ways that we were, as far as outcomes and how games went. And it was highly frustrating. It was that we basically looked really just inept for most of the game, concede an early goal. We can't get back into the game until late. Those type of games. Or, it's we're trying to out-possession every team to death, but we can't create anything. And, it's a game that just looks like devoid of any entertainment. But I don't know. It's like for the Dyla games, it seems like either we get blown out or we have these tale of 2 halves type of games. And I don't know. Like, it's not interesting enough. It's
like either a 0% performance or a 50% performance. Nowhere close to 100%.
Exactly. And you have the one outlier with NYCFC where, it's like maybe there's a little bit more motivation because it's against Ronnie Dyla's old club, and so maybe it's that, but who knows? Either
Seems
way,
fluky at this point, you know?
yeah,
That was
yeah.
a
There's
fluke win. That's what
nothing.
it looked like.
What was that?
It's a fluke win. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it is. It's like there's nothing repeatable. There's nothing that is replicable in what we've seen. And it's just for large amounts of games. There's like, what are we working on?
Yeah.
So it seems like, okay, yes, we changed, some of the personnel in the 11. Formation wasn't really changed. It was just that, players changed. And, okay, there looked like a little bit more energy from some of the different positions, but very telling that Edwin Mosquera is not starting. There is, of course, something that did come out where on his social media he's basically twerking for Millonarios in Colombia.
What's up with that?
It's been talked about a lot that he is very homesick and he's angling to go back. So, and it's been like that for a while, I believe. So
Right.
that seems to be where his head's at.
Of the contract, yeah.
Yeah, and it's that. It's like, yeah, so, again, it bears credence to what we've talked about, which is that these players are not playing for the badge. And yeah, they might be, kind of motivated for the minutes so that they can get out of here. But it's very telling that, a guy who's the winger that, basically Shane Silva leaving, that would think that it would open up a spot for you, young man, but it doesn't. He instead, the very same week, twerks for a Colombian club. Like, just asinine type of stuff. So yeah, transfer window in the summer, first person to go, absolutely should be Edwin Mosquera. I don't care if we get anything for him, because it's clear he's not playing for the badge. So anybody else?
Get him for it.
Yeah, if an MLS team wants it, because apparently he's not been able to find a home outside of here from international teams, which is unfortunate.
Right.
Wow.
So
And,
either
that's
way,
the thing. Like I remember I was listening to Joe Patrick talk the other day about how it's really telling that around the world, a lot of other teams don't rate our players. We can't offload these people, which is really, really worrying, from an objective standpoint, outside of what they're doing right now.
Yeah, but it's interesting though, because we always have, 8 to 9 international players, go away on international duty. So it's, I guess we're having it both ways to a degree, but it's a weird one because, during international breaks, we get shafted. But then, when it comes to actually moving the players, I don't think they're on especially high wages. So, it
they're
is a
high.
little bit perplexing.
They're not
Just not-
exceptionally
Yeah.
high. Just
They're not,
looking at the market value of our team versus Nashville today, we're starting at 11 total market value according to SofaScore. We're at 44.1 million. Nashville's at 25.5.
Yeah,
That high.
interesting, right? Yeah. But again, it's top heavy because yes, Moranchuk, cost a good bit. Lat cost a good bit. Miggy, a moderate amount. So it's that, but it's the rest of the roster not living up to the potential, not improving. Which players have improved since they got to Atlanta United?
Ooh. I think you're hard pressed to find an answer to that. Go ahead, Wes.
I don't think anyone has improved. I think, and I'm not including homegrown players in that. So I don't think Pedro Amador has stayed the same, but that's really the best thing I could probably say. ELO probably seems like he's starting to drop off a little bit, unfortunately. So
devoid of service, probably, if he continues to not get fed, if he continues to get a lot of yellow cards, it's going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but I think it's about the same. Like there's not a drop off with him, but everybody else, it's like, Alexei Miranchuk, he was one of the biggest chance creators and assist guys in the world. Apparently, not so much. So yeah, it really is hard pressed. I can't really think of it at all.
Yeah.
There's not really a player who's performing out of his boots. And
Dyla brought that out of like Tati Castellanos and stuff in New York City, so you'd hope he'd be able to do it here again, but it's not looking like it. Nick, can you give us your final thoughts on this game?
Frustrating. Absolutely frustrating. That we looked good in the first half, we sucked in the second half. And then it's like we were playing they weren't playing like it was 1-1. They're playing like they were down 3-0 again.
A little bit, yeah.
They are in their heads and just cannot produce a full 90-minute complete performance on the field. And until they do that, we're going to continue to get walked all over, be a draw or a loss, and not win. And that really is the monkey on our back right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, team needs to get their heads right. That's a big thing. They're too good to be in this kind of spot, and that's one of the biggest frustrating parts about it. It's like you see the potential, and it just locked away, and you don't know where the key is.
I don't know what team I'm going to see in Chicago next week because if y'all don't know, I'm going to Chicago next weekend, so I will be there with. I hear there's about 40 to 45 of us going. In the support groups, so we will have a little bit of a presence up here in Soldier Field.
Cool.
But remember, this is a team that Nashville scored a touchdown on last week, and I think we should be fortunate we held them to 1 goal. Maybe that was a fluke. I don't know. That's beside the point. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, enjoy Chicago. I love Chicago, but it is that. It's it's the whole, like we were talking about last week, the relativity. Like, you beat one team that, beat this other team or drew with them. They beat them a big amount. It's like, it really fluctuates week by week because of personnel with, the situation and, of course, how the team's set up. Like, are they a good matchup for each other? And so obviously, Chicago Fire we're not a good matchup for Nashville. They completely capitulated, but for us,
Chicago's hosting Orlando tonight, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we pretty much switched over. It'll be interesting. Yeah, it's if the next game, it will be what? Now I guess that's this match. Yeah. So, by the way, Nick, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your night.
Thank you all very much. I hope we do better next week, but I'm not promising anything.
Well, we won't hold you accountable for the performance of the team.
We know who to hold account. Yeah. I'll just say one more thing. I don't know what's going on in the morale of the team. That's being debated by all of us. Whatever they're doing isn't working. Just like.
So you're saying they shouldn't go-karting again?
I don't know what's going on. Just try something at this point. I mean, just try something as long as it results in a win.
Right. Yeah. Basically, trust falls for everybody, hopefully, and maybe that will be effective at the very least. Hopefully, not trust falls into go-kart courses. That's probably a dangerous idea. And
I mean, definitely. We have better team building exercises here in this Discord.
That's true. I trust some of these guys with my life, man. I mean, I don't know if Atlanta United players can say that.
There's your first mistake, Mike.
Yeah. Well, I'm still here, so, working so far.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Have a good rest of the night.
Bye.
So yeah, let's see. We get another one of our guests in. We have 3 tonight, I believe. All right, let's go over some of these comments while we're waiting.
The Patreon 11. We should.
Oh yeah.
That up.
Yeah, let me do that real quick before we do anything else. So we have our Atlanta United Fan TV starting lineup of our top Patreons this week, which is Nick in the ATL, which we just spoke to, Gavin Marshall, Jeff, and Andrew. Thank you very much, guys. You guys are our top fans, and we appreciate your belief in what we're doing. And if you guys want to see your names on this starting lineup graphic, please become a Patreon today. All right, with that, I didn't have any time to read any comments because Atl is a very punctual person. So we're going to have Atl give his reaction to the game and some of his takeaways. Is this a positive note for you? Was there progress here? Or was it all like the 3-0 games of the past, doom and gloom?
I mean, there was some improvement, but not enough. Clearly not enough. Miggy being at the 10, I wish solved all our problems, but unfortunately it didn't. There's just some piece missing, but we played a lot better in the early minutes of the first half before that goal. Like, there was a lot of chance creation, and we locked down Nashville. And then when Miggy scored, it just all went downhill. We just couldn't get another chance on the goal. And then it went even further downhill after that when Nashville scored, and we just couldn't find our footing again.
Yeah. What do you attribute that to? How did that drop off happen?
Ugh. It's just a lot to do with the mentality of the team. There's something going on where we just switch off after we feel like we're comfortable, and that has to stop happening, because if that keeps on happening, there's just going to be even more goals scored in us, and we won't be able to do anything this season if we just keep this mentality that we have. So we got to fix something, and we got to find out where people really play. Like, Jay Fortune doesn't play on the left wing, but we need to figure out what we can do with the players. We need to figure out a better mentality, and something needs to be fixed with that.
Did you think it was strange that, like AJ alluded to earlier, having Edwin Mosquera not be a starter? What if, I was thinking, some people were coming up with the starting 11 of Edwin on the left wing and then Fortune being in the midfield somewhere, instead of maybe Miguel, and then maybe keeping Moranchuk at like the 8 or something like that, and then Miguel on like the wing to get Fortune more central. I don't know if that would work at all. I feel like that would be at least a way to get more of our pieces onto the field. But yeah, Edwin just doesn't start, and that's a very confusing thing.
Right, that was really weird. Didn't really expect that. I didn't think that we were going to play Jay Fortune on the wing again, but I don't know. It was interesting to see what Ronnie was doing there.
What did you think about Moranchuk this game?
Ooh, okay. Well, there's improvement while he's at his new position, but it's still not really there as much. But his new position, I feel like he's doing a lot better there, and it's looking a little bit up than it has been. So it's majority of that is positive. There are a couple of passes that just didn't go where they were supposed to, but he did pretty well overall.
Yeah, I agree with that. I thought he looked better there. I thought he, it's been not great when he's played at the 10. People were worried about his defensive contributions. I thought they were all right. I thought his ability to settle the ball, control it, and find intelligent passes that can stitch together our defense to our offense, was better because, versus Miyamba or Sleesh trying to do it, I always felt like, even Fortune to a degree, I feel like they just try and force things a little bit, and it's not as smart and cerebral, and that ends up in a lot of midfield chaos that we can get hurt on. Whereas I feel like Miranchuk is a little bit better at finding the right pass, although it's still very difficult because teams know that's how to get us, and they were probably set up thinking Miranchuk wouldn't be back there, so they would have an easier time picking us apart in the midfield. But Miranchuk, I thought, maybe is the reason, perhaps, to a degree, we didn't have like 3 or 4 goals on us. Because a lot of times, those other teams, they run amok in that midfield in the counter press and get those transition moments, because they know that's how you hurt Atlanta. Everyone, we say this every episode, the book is out, that's how you attack Atlanta, and it works every time. So maybe they were stymied a little bit this time.
Yeah.
AJ, any thoughts?
I mean, it definitely is. Yeah, it definitely is a little bit where, there's a bit more press resistance from Miranchuk, but it's still, I think, ultimately not, I think, at the level that we need in order to win games, and especially at energy levels that we need to win games, because, yeah, that drop-off is just too heavy. It's like, essentially, yeah, we probably have 4 6s and really only one player that can actually play the 8 in Miranchuk, because, yeah, I think at this point, Click, yeah, he's more of a maybe deep line playmaker, but at any point you feel like the wheels might fall off, in terms of defensively. He got that yellow card, a little bit of a rash tackle, but really, yeah, it did feel a little bit like, okay, like, why did you have to make that tackle, or that, I think it was a push, but it was just like, like this early on, like, you're gonna get hooked.
Yeah.
Because you're just not good enough defensively. So, and then at this point as well, it's like, you question if he can last the whole 90. Mm-hmm. Every match. It's like, yeah, he starts, but
yeah, I mean, he made it to 67 this game. This game.
Yeah, which was probably like more than he's really in most of the games.
Yeah, I mean, to his credit, he hit a 88% pass accuracy this game, which is pretty good. I thought he had a decent game. 3 out of 5 long balls too, which is pretty good. Now, interestingly enough, compared to Alexi, you could see where their target of their press was on him. His accuracy, which is usually fairly high at the 10, his was at 77 tonight. So they were hitting him hard. You could definitely tell they were trying to break him.
Yeah, and they're trying to test him because, yeah, it's like if he's being played in a position that he's not used to, yeah, of course, there are some actions in there that he's not going to be able to, anticipate, be used to, because he's not in the hole. He's in where there's a lot of traffic and there's a lot of people around him, and they're trying to get the ball off you. You don't have time to think. You basically have to know and be scanning before you receive the ball. And I mean, yeah, I think he is a player that does that, but
yeah,
I mean, you have to do it at a level that he's probably not used to. So it's that. I mean, it's more that, yeah, our midfield is always one of our problems, and if not really our biggest problem, because when we can't stitch the lines together and we can't shield the defense, I mean, it just really is like time and time again, game after game, we get outrun in midfield. We get pressed to death, and we can't create enough chances because we can't get the ball to the forwards where they can actually affect the game. Yeah. So
completely ineffective tonight with Emmanuel Atl too. So let me get to some of these comments, and Atl will help us answer some of these questions if there is any in these. Alan Salazar says 1-to-1 baby steps. Zach says, Alan, it's like a baby that can't learn to walk. A1 Products M Row says, Tale of Two Halves. Alan says, yeah, the baby might fall flat on its face most of the time, but good parents still want to and hope to see it walk. From now, we'll just see it crawl. Legzone 6 says, better, but still
On
not
that,
nearly
hold
enough.
on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's stay on that. Yeah, it's always one of these things where, when a baby walks, it's like, wow, it's so amazing. This is the thing. Besides, if you have a really, debilitating type of disability, most people are able to walk. So this is not good enough. These baby steps, like everyone's saying in the chat, it's like, that's not at a level that's good enough yet. These baby steps don't mean shit.
Yeah, it's in a league where people are full on sprinting, and you're talking about baby steps. That's the trouble here. Okay, let's see. At least the scoring drought ended. Yeah, that is true. That did happen. Like I said, it wasn't convincing to me in terms of
Still broke the record.
He did.
That did happen. Hood Crypto says we were decent first half, second half we tired out. Zach said, do they need more conditioning? Are they getting tired too quickly? Dot, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it just looks like some people are just too slow and just not doing what they should be doing. I don't know if it's what they're doing in the training by just skipping a day to go go-karting or something. And maybe they should have a little bit more running there. They should have a little bit more stamina drills in there, because you can see that it just depletes every single second half, which is why we get scored on so easily in the beginning of every second half. It didn't happen this game, but usually it does happen in the early minutes of the second half. We get scored on. It was a big trend, and it might continue.
Yeah, I mean, it was, like 66 minutes in was the goal, so not early in the first half, but still frustratingly, second half, still frustratingly in there. And again, it felt like we saw it coming. Let's see, I think, Tommy, what's up, Tommy from Scarven Spikes, how you doing? He says, anyone come on here and swear yet? No, I don't think so. I saved all my swearing for last week's 5 Stripe weekly episode. So that's where all my swearing happened.
Yeah, I think I dropped one earlier in the episode, but maybe I didn't. Who knows?
Clayton Baker says, Branchuk is not our 10. Latte Lath had no service. I can't imagine the amount of frustration he's going to start to carry if that continues. We might see Jose Martinez levels of anger and frustration if that continues. I agree.
I don't know. I mean, is chicken and rice in the locker room?
If it is, someone needs to check on that. And also, Tommy wants to know, AJ, what product do you use in your hair?
I think I use a powder and some hairspray. Yep.
Okay. All right. He will not tell you the brand, so you will still remain.
I don't know the brand.
He cannot. You can't cop his strategy for hair stuff. Alan Salazar says, glad AJ touched on my baby comment. Yeah, that was a funny analogy, and I think we ran with it. So that's it for the comments right now. Dot, can we get your final thoughts on this game?
Yeah. So we need a lot more improvement. Before the season, we were expected by so many people to come second place in the league, and we're looking like we might not even make the playoffs. And we need a lot more improvement, and we need it fast. We need to win like the majority of our matches to make it top 5. And if we can't do that, and if we keep losing, we might have to go to the play-in game again, which I don't want that to happen, or be like a barely in the playoffs type of team. And we'll see if we need a manager change, because Ronnie seems like he doesn't know his players. He doesn't know the team well enough. And a draw is not good enough at home. And seeing what we were doing in the beginning of the first half, we were doing very well. To see us drop off, there has to be something that is not being right, and like something that's not being used correctly. So if I don't see improvement, it's going to be hard to see any success for the rest of the season. But I really think that we can turn this around. It's still like not just the middle mark of the season, so I think we can turn this around, and I think that we can do a lot better and make it farther than we did in the playoffs last year. So,
all right.
Yeah, question for you before you go, because it is this. we have the expectations of the team going in before the season, but before this match, I think we were 12th place, and they were in 5th, and it's like, well, 12th going against 5th, and you get a draw. It conceivably is a decent result, but especially after Nashville dropped a touchdown against Chicago last match. So, are our expectations too high for this match in the context of the season? Or, are our expectations of the season just, kind of clouding our judgment?
I think it's expectations before the season. We were definitely hoping for a lot better than this. It's a good result against a 5th place team, but since we were dominating so early in the first half, I thought that we could pull a win from this. It's a good result against such a high up team, and I think that our expectations are getting in the way of us, but I think that we had every right to expect this. We have a $50 million attack, so many great players that we had, and I don't think I expected to get shut out 3-0 2 matches in a row. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, what's up, man? Well, appreciate your time, man, and we will see you very soon.
Yep, see you later. Thank you, guys.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Let's get our last guest in here. And I will. Oh no, that's right. We got all the comments. Yeah, get all of your questions and comments in before we finish up here, so we can get that read. And yeah, we will pretty much have our last guest, and then we will be on our way. Luckily, not until like midnight, 12:30, like we oftentimes do.
Wheel of
start time. Oh yes, and Wheel. That's right. Yeah, guys, AJ's got to do his thing. That's right. He has his forfeit today. If anyone remembers,
I do.
The spicy challenge. So, yeah.
Indeed.
All right. So, with that, we have Nick joining us. Nick, how are you doing? How was the game?
Doing okay. How are you guys? Can you hear me okay?
Here you are.
We can. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so I took some friends to the match for the first time today, their first match ever. They enjoyed it. Good tailgate experience in Lot 17. They had fun in the supporter section. We're taking them to one of our favorite spots in Sandy Springs right now. So when we got 12 minutes, Hannah's doing the Lord's work and driving us over here. So there's Hannah.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
So it's overall a good experience. I mean, in some heat and discord for me, like I was more disappointed in today's performance than the last couple losses on the road. I think that comes from expectations, and I just caught into your last conversation with your last guest about is it a good point about 12th versus 5th in the Eastern Conference. I mean, I was like, if Columbus was 5th in the Eastern Conference right now and we got a 1-1, would I be mad about it? And part of me was like, no. If it was a different, maybe yellow shirt, I wouldn't be. But at the same time, you got to point. If it's not coming against Nashville, who's it coming against? It's not coming against Philly next time. Not coming against Cincinnati in a couple weeks. It's not coming against Orlando in a couple weeks. And then you play like 9 out of 12 games on the road. Like, when are the wins going to come if they're not coming today? That's kind of where I'm at with it. Because the first 20 minutes was better. Then you score the goal and you can't win a game by bunkering with this defense on the field, and just so disappointing overall. That's kind of where my head's at. So there we go.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's that exemplifies it. Is that at home you absolutely need to make it a fortress, and yeah, if you don't get the points here, it's a very good point. Where are you going to get the points? And especially with our anemic road record, it supersedes any coach that comes in. It's just, it doesn't matter.
And at some point, like, the players on the field are the ones that change that. Like, it doesn't matter who's on the touchline. Like, Jurgen Klopp could be standing over there. It's not changing with this group. Like, it has to come from within. Like, it has to come from God knows where at this point. I mean, with the lack of leadership and everything we've seen on the field, and if you want to talk about the lineup, I think the lineup was fine. I was just happy to see something different, and I know a lot of people don't like it, but I mean, you sold John Day without bringing in a replacement. Who else is going to go out there? I mean, I thought he was fine. He's there for defensive cover and to help with holding up the ball and things like that. Like, you know, Jay goes out every time, but you know, Moran's took the double pivot was fine. I would like to see it again. I remain curious. Like, Almiron didn't have any chances created, but he gets the goal from maybe what we would consider his more natural. He tried something, because original plan A was not working, and I don't think we can roll out plan A anymore.
Yeah,
I'm just happy we tried something and know that it sort of works.
Right.
So,
But
how do you think Emmanuel
most
Latte
of
Law?
these are from. Go ahead, Michael.
There's a bit of a delay, and it's sputtering a little bit, but I think go ahead.
I was going to ask you, how do you think we can get Emmanuel Latte Lath a little bit more involved in the attack, because he had a 0.01 xG this game.
It's not great. God, it's interesting, because you saw several times in the first half, you know, Alexei gets on the ball, and then 4 guys sprint. And I will never forget, after the 4-0 loss and Leaks comes to my house, I will never forget Robert Taylor's post-game interview with a couple after that. I think it was Jillian who did it, maybe. And he said, when Messi gets on the ball, 4 of us just run. And he's going to pick whoever he picks out, and it's our job to do it after that and do the right thing. And you saw a little bit of that today, like with Alexei or Biggie out on the ball. You know, Latte Laugh and Stava and Lennon and Amador and whoever, we need more of that. I think if we can get more transition moments, he will feast. There were several moments where, you know, he gets on the ball and then he has to take it out wide because he doesn't have any support. You know, why is your striker suddenly becoming your winger? I think that's something I would want to look at. That's something I'm gonna look back at when I rewatch eventually. What position is he in the final third? What position? If they're not in a second position, how is he getting there? Why is he getting there? Why is that maybe not working?
Yeah, I saw a lot of players. They just, when you were in a transition moment, you expect, okay, you're going to unleash, start going, you know, something's going to happen here. Nothing ever happens. They almost always pull up, stop, decide to turn around, pass backwards, pass laterally. I'm just like, why don't you just continue to keep running? And then maybe someone gets open, maybe try to push. Like, yeah, you might run into like a guy or two, and we are critical of players who, quote unquote, run into traffic. But if it's only like one or so guy, and like you have two wingers on your peripheral like running as well, and they're also being covered, but you can maybe beat your guy, maybe draw one of them, and then that other guy's open, you can thread that pass. Like, that's how these things happen. We just go like, oh, there's a guy on me. Yeah, we are in a great position that I just received the ball from, like, let's say Moranchuk or something, and I'm in a position where if I just get it in turn, I'm in a 1v1 with a guy, and then I have my 2 guys bombing on the wings, but they're in cover and I'm in cover, so I'm just gonna stop. Like, I don't get that. Like, you're all about speed, and you're not doing that.
Yeah, it's a bit of the bravery of all the players to actually be confident that their runs are going to be rewarded. I think that's the thing. That PTSD kicks in real hard when all your runs don't get rewarded, and you're just not going to make that run again. It's Saba made an early run that he wasn't rewarded for, and then he also was wide open, unmarked on the right side, calling for the ball, and also didn't get the ball. And it's just like, you're going to get frustrated at some point. Like, no one's perfect, and no one's perfect in the.
I feel for him in that moment. Like, it's he's the only guy on the team now who's like, I'm confident in 1v1. I mean, you're like, Sean gave him a little bit of that, but not enough to get him in the starting line. Really, he planted himself as one of our best players in the 11 like he could have. But like, Saba's kind of the only guy who can do that now, you see so often he's just there, chalk on the boots, like standing there, hand up, like waiting for the ball. And then the only time he gets the ball is when him and Lennon collide in space, because Lennon's either driving the team up himself, or then someone gives the ball to Lennon instead of him, and then they're in the same space, and then one of them takes off and one of them hangs back. And you see that quite frequently on our right side. It's a little frustrating.
Yeah,
and I think
it's absolutely frustrating.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, yeah. And it's this. It's like, you know. Keep going.
There's a meme. I'm gonna have to find it and send it to you guys in Discord. It's this meme where it's like a meme in the field and you're shooting, towards one of the goals, and the defense is like pretty solid because other than some horrific individual moments, I don't think our defense has been that horrible. Overall, like it's build-up issues, it's midfield issues too. It's not just them. Brown and Williams were both fine enough today, and you get to midfield, you get to the build-up, and then it's like, oh, this is going well, and then there's this right along what Pep Guardiola would call the primary assist zone, right around the box zone 14. It's like, oh god, oh shit, oh god, we have no idea what to do here, and that's what it is. Like they get there, like to our final third in front of the opposition goal, and they have no idea what to do. Yeah. And it's been like that for 5 years, like 4 or 5 coaches now. They have no idea what to do, and like that's part of the job where it is on Ronnie to solve that, and he is trying things, and I feel for him because they get there and it's just back to new death. So
right, and it's they get into the areas that they should, but then it is, you have to have those players that can break down a deep lying defense. And like Saba is one of the players that can actually beat you on the dribble. Shande, like you said, also one of those other players that we shipped out. But beyond that, it's like, okay, yeah, maybe somewhat. He's definitely a lot more press resistant than I think his first stint here. But Moranchuk is not necessarily trying to beat you on the dribble, per se. He's trying to move it quickly, and if he doesn't, then he's gonna try to linger on it and find the pass versus beat the dribble.
That's why. That's what you just said there is why I'm so Moranchuk at the 8 curious. I'm curious about it because the game doesn't move as fast at that part of the field. When you're the 10, like you got to make a split-second decision, or you have to take it yourself, like within a split second. You gotta.
He's with child.
Yeah. All right. No, I'm good. I'm good now.
The kids are ready for dad. I'm
they are. It's almost bedtime.
It's with Alexi. I think why I'm so curious about him as a part of the double pivot, partially is because the game. I think it's interesting because when you're the 10, like when you get the ball, you're the target. Like you are the one everyone's looking at to try and stop the progression of the attack. The attack flows through you. He does not move fast enough for that. For me, I mean, if we want to keep going with my favorite stat, I like to shout out to Zil for the Discord. But 0 assists in 11 games, man. Like that's not going to do it. And you can say, well, Almiron's not a perfect fit at the 10. Almiron has played winger more in his life. I mean, the numbers say like 3 goals and 2 assists in 11 games. Like he's on pace for his 2017, 2018 numbers. He's on pace right around there. I mean, at some point the production just has to be there from Alexi, and it's not right now. And I think with Alexi at the 8, you could do that for 60 minutes of a game, especially at home when you are going to maybe dominate the ball more in the first half like we did in the first 20 minutes today against a team who will lower block it on the road. I know Nashville under BJ Callahan could play more than they used to under Gary Smith, but still, like we had the pin back for a while today. Like Alexi's perfect for that in a double pivot, and as soon as the game turns, like yank him, like yank him, put Sleesh on. I think that was the right move from Ronnie today, and they just got to score more.
Nick, I agree with you, and I got to ask you, I've asked this to basically everyone so far, what precipitated or what caused that random drop-off after a little while after the goal that we scored? We just, looking at the momentum index on Apple TV, It went from like all us to literally all Nashville on like the drop of a hat in the rest of the game. So why? What do you? How do you ascribe that?
Well, and I'll add to what you said a little bit before I answer. Here's the second half stats. These are from Joe Patrick 5 Strike Final. Is where I got these from. These are second half stats. So from halftime to then, Nashville 78% possession, Atlanta 22%. Shots were 8-1 Nashville in the second half. Shots on goal were 7-0 Nashville in the second half. Corners 6-0 Nashville. Touches in the opposition box 19 Nashville to 3 Atlanta United. I wonder if it's just anxiety. I don't know if I can attribute it to anything tactical or anything weird, or like that Nashville made an adjustment. I feel like some of the earlier games in the season, like Charlotte made it at the Bank of America Stadium, they made an adjustment. They tangibly changed from pressing with 2 to pressing with 3, and we couldn't handle it. They scored 2 goals. That was it. Game over. That's your ball game, as I like to say sometimes. So then there's a couple others, like Red Bulls made an adjustment and packed it in and gave us the blow. We just couldn't break them down that day. And I can't find anything tangible that Nashville did. Maybe I will upon rewatch. But I just, like, racking my brains, I think it's just they got scared. They're like, we have a lead and we have to protect it. And the subs kind of fit that theory in a way, because when you're the first sub window was a couple subs, like Saba came off, Mascara came on, Sleesh came on, Fortune and Sleesh kind of went back into the double pivot, Blake came off. And then Matt Edwards comes on and Latte Lath comes off, you shift Lennon up to the wing and Almiron comes off. I mean, it just never felt like they were really going to go for 2-1. It felt like once they conceded, both teams were kind of like, okay, this is what it is today. Like, this is a point. And, Guzan kind of saved a 1-1 for us, and we kind of got lucky. And I wonder if it's just they're so stressed out at homes. Like, they're already at 2 losses at home and a bunch of draws. But we're used to home draws at this point in our lives. But even, like, before 2024, they had never lost at home more than, like, 3-4 times a year. Like, that just didn't happen. And then they're probably just so afraid of it becoming a habit. It's probably so for them now. Like, it's just, that could be what it is.
Yeah.
So
I think that has a lot to do with it. The mental aspect of it.
And I if anyone who doesn't know my background, I'm a music teacher, and we just got to a restaurant. My friends that took the match are headed inside. I'll join them in a second. But so I always tell my kids, middle school, high school, whatever it is, the activity we do where I teach them to play music and we learn music together and perform for audiences is 90% up here. The tangible skills I teach you are only 10% of the battle. The rest of it's up here. Just seems like we got a soft ass team right now.
Yeah. And
like, I don't know how you fix that. That is institutional at this point. It has been 4 or 5 years since we've had a real bulldog out there. And I'm not talking about Joseph flipping chicken and rice. Like, I just, the corner of the internet who will say, like, oh, well, we need someone to come and flip in a chicken and rice table. Like, that's not it. Like, you got to be like an you to get away with that stuff. And he wasn't at that time. That's not how it works. And I understand that's partially why they brought Almiron back, but you gotta find guys who will just battle for the shirt and play for the badge in a way that we haven't seen in a while. I feel like the guys that kind of figured out, like, they're going to get paid no matter how bad they are, and that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Yep. You need mentality monsters, and we are in short supply of that. I can't even say who the actual mentality monsters are. I mean, maybe Emmanuel Atl. Beyond that, hard pressed.
And I remember asking one of the media members one time. I was like, if your keeper is the captain, you get to anoint someone else to be the, like, secondary captain, or there's probably a more official term for it, to, like, talk to the ref or whatever with those new rules. I had to ask them who it was. I couldn't figure it out. And the answer was
the vice captain probably is Miggy, but it's because he was speaking with the ref a lot more. But he got in a little bit of trouble. I think he got booked for dissent. Really,
he got for argument. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just it was hard to see on the pitch, but it was
Yeah,
just like,
I looked
don't
at
think he
it
did
on
it.
SofaScore. They have it as argument. All right, Nick, thank you very much for coming on and talking.
course.
Hopefully, we'll have maybe a better thing to talk about next time if you join us again. So appreciate you,
understand.
bud.
All right, appreciate y'all. Michael, enjoy your kids. AJ, have a great night. See you later.
All right.
Cool. Enjoy your dinner.
Thanks.
All right, we're just gonna say real quick hi to one of our good friends, Tommy. Just real quick, and then we'll get to the wheel after that. All right, let me see while we're waiting on him. Let's see. Oh yeah, we do have some more comments. Thanks guys for the comments today. Clayton Baker says Ranchuk just hasn't adjusted to a non-domestic league. Even at Torino, coming off the bench, he was better than this. Kyle says, what's up with the music? Feels like I'm in an elevator. Yeah, that's kind of what I am going for a little bit, like chill, relaxing. Also, he says Maranchuk refuses to get involved in the offensive push, and he's so upset that he treated himself to a mani-pedi. So I hope you enjoyed that. Mabry in his cuisine says the title of the stream is inaccurate. This match felt more of the same. I'm not breaking out the we're fucking shit chants yet, but this team is not good. I don't want to hear anyone mention Latte Loth in the Golden Boot conversation for the foreseeable future. I have not been impressed with this performance for the last 3 matches. He also says, Nick nailed it. This team is lost.
Hold on. Let's pause there. He wasn't even in the match last week because he was suspended for yellow card accumulation. So, yeah, that's, I think can't really say that. This match, he wasn't even fed. And that's a big part of being a striker. You have to have service. So, yeah, I don't really think you can really do too much as a striker. Jose Martinez, yeah, bereft of a lot of service in 2023 and 2024, or not 2024, in 2022, 2023, I think. Yeah, no, wait. 2021, 2022, there we go. Man, it's been so many years. But either way, like, those were years that we just, couldn't feed Jose Martinez. And then he had to go way deeper just to get involved in the game. And I don't think you want Manuel Atl Utd to do that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why he got in trouble in a lot of the other matches, because he was tracking back too much and doing defensive work when he probably really shouldn't have.
Yep. Seems like all of our strikers do that eventually. They all realize they got to go back and help. Tommy, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Scarves and Spikes fame and also Lane Night Fan TV alumni. Tommy, how'd you find this match? How are you feeling too? And how do you think next match might go?
If it's anything like we've seen on the road before, it's going to be real bad.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, you're going 2 back on the road, and then a few at home, and then you're back on the road. The question is Ronnie going to make it? And from that long road trip, that's the real question for me. From now until that game back, was it in July? I think the return is. Can he be there? And I've been talking about it for a while. The question is can Garth Lagerwey? He's always said he's slow at doing things. He likes to be slow. This is your first coaching decision. If you have made the wrong choice here, can he be big enough to say I messed up and move on from them?
Yeah. I mean, it seems like I strangely enough, like listening to Joe Patrick and and Sam Jones's podcast, 5 Stripe Final, they said something strange that I don't know how to weigh it in terms of significance, but they did say that from their context at the club, they heard that regardless of the next, I don't know, they said like stretch of games, so that could be like 4 or 5 or whatever games, that his job is not in danger. Like, it is solidified that it is not in jeopardy. So, take that for what you will from, their contacts within the club. But apparently, he's good to go for at least a while.
Which also makes a little bit of sense, but it's this, and sorry, you can get in here. But it's this, it's like, okay, we have a long stretch of away games, so if he's coming home and yes, we haven't won any games, well then that move is obvious.
Yeah.
But if it's a little bit kind of mixed, well then, yeah, it's really only a concern if he's at home, because these away games, let's just be real, like fans check out. They're not watching the away games normally, so it's a lot less people that actually care. But if it's at home and you lose, like that's when people are, the boo birds coming. Yeah, it's just all the optics. So, but yeah, Tommy.
Well, absolutely. That's the other thing you are going to have to deal with is what happened last summer. We were the poster boys for League's Cup sucks. Nobody was at Mercedes-Benz Stadium for those games, and then it continued to regular season games. You could look at the tickets sold, but that's not what it looks like. And you're going to start, and unfortunately, when you're in a huge stadium where you are going to keep getting pictures of the empty stadium there.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to do well. And I think any franchise that says, well, he's safe no matter what, I think that's a dumb thing to do, because what if you lose the team throughout this process? And it's very easy to lose a team. I mean, when you're on this long of a road trip, what if I don't remember, is it 7 games or 6 games?
It's 6 or 7. Yeah, I haven't counted. I'm not really looking forward to that stretch of the calendar, because
I can look it up in a second.
But what if you lose 5 of 7? What if you lose 6 of 7? And you're saying that it's okay because it's a long-term project? Like, I don't know. I think if you lose the team or not,
it's 6.
That's where you run into trouble.
Right, and it's like who's the interim? Like, I mean, it probably is. His name is escaping me right now. Carl Robinson. There we go. But that's probably the most tenured type of guy that probably could. But I don't know if that's the move. If you're trying to salvage the season, at that point, which it very well could get to that point. But yeah, I mean, it's like if you're drawing at home and you're losing away, it's like that. It's a recipe for people losing their jobs.
Yeah, I think mathematically we have to hit like 2 points a game now to like get back into the 4th place conversation, which is seems like
at least 1.7 at least per game to at least get back in the conversation.
Yeah.
of playoffs. So yeah, it's not great, but if we can run off a good number of games where it looks better and we get some results that are wins and draws, okay, yeah, now it's a better conversation. But is it likely, looking like how we are and how we can't put full 90s together? I mean, like, what, Tommy, like, what are you putting the lack of being able to put full 90s together when we actually look, at some moments in the games that, we actually get a result? Like, why does this happen?
It's frustrating because you haven't seen one game. It's not even one. Like the Montreal game might have been one of the more fun ones, but still, you still looked bad. Yeah. You still didn't look good throughout that game. So you haven't seen a full performance from this team all year. It can't just be on all the players either. Like, it has to be a combination of all the above. It's every group. It's the players, it's the coaching, it's the front office for not bringing things together. Like, you still don't have and maybe we were all just so excited about the signing, saying, I mean, when you see a lot of people predict how this team was going to be, you still didn't have a legit left winger. You never had one to begin with. Like, Sean De Silva is a guy that has had moments throughout his career with Atlanta United, but overall, it's more meh than good.
Yeah.
He had some really cool moments, but we never had that. And then you move on from him, you don't do any other moves, and now this is what you're stuck with for the summer. And by the way, Jay Fortune was probably my player of the game. Like, I thought that he came out looking good immediately, causing some chaos in the box real early in the game in like the first 10 minutes. I was like, okay, like maybe that's what we need more of here, because we've talked to Parkhurst, we've talked to Dax. They both have said Fortune is the best player on the field. He was our MVP towards the end of last year, and if he's not on the field, you're having a problem.
Yeah.
Well, they got him on the field. They did look better early on, but after that goal, everything turned off, and you were the road team.
What do you attribute that to? The drop off? Like, how did that? It's not something Nashville did, right? Is it something that, happened to our team mentally? They just seem like they got the win completely taken out of their sails.
Were they told if you get up 1-0, just hold back as long as you can and try not to lose? Maybe, because that's what it feels like when you watch it.
I feel like
it felt
Nashville
like they turned
pinned
on
us, and it was their game plan to attack, and they wanted us pinned. And I think that's what happened. I think we did not want that to play out that way. I don't think we wanted to sit back and play counter.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of that. I mean, it's like you give credit to your opposition as well. And so it's, Nashville, they press us well. They obviously have quality on the ball. I mean, it was, a little bit shaded towards us in the first 30 minutes. But then, when basically the meter goes completely Nashville, it's like they figured out, okay, well, who are your pressing triggers? And they started doing it really well. And we don't have that press in order to force these errors. And so it doesn't switch back into the other sense because we don't adjust. When have we adjusted in any of the matches this season?
Just like one, and that was it. There's only been like one.
NYCFC, that's it. Because, like Tommy was saying, we were one crossbar away from drawing that match.
Yeah.
So
Tommy, I gotta ask you, because we're nearing the end of the episode, and I wanted to see if you wanted to stay on to watch AJ do his forfeit, and then also watch us do the wheel for next week.
What's the forfeit?
He has to eat a Scottish bonnet? What is it? The pepper?
bonnet? No, it's a.
You pussed out and went with an easier one.
No, finding a Scotch bonnet is actually kind of hard.
Well, you used the word Scotch bonnet. I didn't. I was thinking maybe habanero, but no, he went.
So it's a pepper.
It was also, yeah. So it's a very hot pepper. It's a 350,000 Scoville. So yeah.
Are you super into those shows, like watching them eat the hot wings?
Yeah, those are fun shows.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We've been talking about doing that on Scarves and Spikes. So maybe we'll have you on. Get a whole group there and see who can survive. I did the official one years ago, and I got to the bomb, and I called my wife and I said, I think I'm having a heart attack.
Oh boy.
Someone brought ice cream and I couldn't find a spoon quick enough, so I clawed it with my hands, the ice cream. I couldn't handle it well. And then she slept downstairs on the couch because everything coming out of me afterwards, those
radioactive material.
The bomb destroyed the household for the weekend.
Yeah,
it's
that makes
just
sense.
pain. Yeah, that was just number 10. Actually, yeah, the last dab actually isn't as bad as the bomb.
No,
everyone said that, but I didn't trust them.
Yeah, the bomb is it's designed to just hurt you. It's not designed to be enjoyable. It's kind of a party trick thing. It's not I'm gonna buy this for my food, that kind of thing. So
yeah, it's just nuclear.
It is what it is. All right, so yeah, AJ,
let's see it.
Go ahead.
Oh, are we? No. Let's roll the.
You don't want to? You want to cut off the stream before the reaction happens? Is that what you're saying?
No. Let's do the wheel, and then I will eat this.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I feel honored to be part of this wheel thing and get to see it happen.
Yeah, let me try and get the thing going here.
Yeah, I don't want to be in pain and then have to spin the wheel and then find out, if I have to go again or something. So yeah, no. This is the last thing we're gonna do. Then I'm dipping.
All right. Okay. All right. Let me just.
What is? You're not supposed to drink water, or is it? You're not supposed to drink milk? Because I heard those are the secrets, but if you drink them, it can make it worse.
No. Water doesn't really do anything. But milk will.
Hydrates.
Yeah. Milk will help a little bit because it's a base, but it won't nothing stops it besides time, right? Well, I heard that whiskey actually helps. It helps break down the capsaicin. High levels.
You got plenty of that here.
Of alcohol helps break down the stuff. So that's what I heard at least.
Japanese stuff, so maybe I'll go to that. But
My thing is just not. It's doing that thing again where it won't let me transition to the wheel. It's really annoying. So talk for a second amongst yourselves while I figure it out. Yeah.
No.
Maybe that's what I'm doing. Maybe that is what it is.
I will say, last summer I felt like I was the shield for Garth Lagerwey for a long time, because it was like he if you listen to him talk, he had the plan. He had the long-term plan. Open up the DP spots, wait until, to get the coach, bring the players in, have it all work in unison together, and equals MLS playoffs. You gave him that opportunity to do all these things, and now it's not working out. And that's the worry, because you go into the summer transfer window and you don't have a lot of room to do things. I know they freed up Silva money there, but it's not a lot, and it was a short-term contract, so it's not like you're saving yourself long-term here. So what can you do? Is it a buyout? Is it a buyout of a player? I heard you guys talking about Mascara. Absolutely, get rid of him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's good for one moment for the year anyways. He got that in game one, so perfect. Get him out of here. But what else do you do? And it feels like if you're going to do something, it's got to be drastic. Does somebody call and save us from Maranchuk and say, we want him? Like, because we didn't think anyone was going to call about Pity Martinez, and someone called for Pity Martinez. So can you save that, or do you use your buyout?
I don't know, man.
Well,
that's a
that's
tricky
Saudi
question,
Arabia,
but
though.
I do have faith in the people that we have in the front office to make the right decisions. So hopefully they can unwind this. Anyway, I got the wheel working again, so let's just get this going. Let's see. So right now, we're going to find out if it's going to be AJ or me for next week. And, just on to AJ. Again, that's 2 in a row for AJ, so it's 1 for me, 2 for AJ if you've been keeping track at home. And what we have now, Tommy, as the selections...
It's 1 year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a time where I had like 10 in a row, and it was absolutely disgusting.
No, it wasn't. What an
Listen, Atlanta United Fan TV historians can get at you in the chat about it. But anyway, the Soccer Skills Challenge, funny hats.
It's video that you can check. It's never been 10 in a row.
Yoda voice for 5 minutes, fake sponsor ad, and paint your face purple because we lost to Orlando. So those are the options for next stream. Let's see what AJ will have to do. What are you hoping for, Tommy?
Fake sponsor ad read. I mean, we can come up with a couple great products for that.
Yeah, almost got that. It is funny hat. So Bill Gluckman, who's promised us some strange hats, we'll reach out to him and grab some of those, and AJ will get.
He's providing the hats?
He is. He is.
I mean, that's
so
amazing.
Who knows what they'll be?
Are they derby hats?
I
was just
know.
looking at all the derby hats on TV.
We know nothing about what these hats are. He just said, I have some funny hats. And that made me a little weirded out. But hey, we'll see what they are.
Maybe they're bachelorette party hats, because then you know what you're wearing then on top of your head.
You never know. All right.
Yeah, or what has happened with those. But yeah. All right.
It's time.
Here we go. Let's see if we can get that. I don't know.
That's the actual pepper?
That is, yeah.
That's the actual pepper.
You're gonna eat it whole?
Oh yeah.
Eat it whole.
One bite?
But
no, he's gotta chew it.
So,
He's gotta get the seeds stuck in his teeth.
I don't know if you guys can see the craters on this thing, but no, it's not.
No, I think you gotta pull it back a little bit. Oh yeah, if you like halfway.
Yeah. So definitely. Those are the scary ones. The ones that have crater face. So,
yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Rub it on your eyes first, just to make sure it's healthy.
Rub it all over the body, and then
just so we make sure it's not like an actual just sweet pepper, you know.
7 dot. So, all right, here we go.
All right, let's see if we have any more comments about this. Clayton Baker donated $10. Love you, bro. He says, also keep doing what you guys are doing. Big things have small beginnings. That's indeed true. And I think maybe if you're talking about the team, it's like the opposite. But yeah, 100% appreciate you. He also says, Fortune was once again trying to fill the defensive void off the ball that has gotten Latte Lath in trouble these past few matches. On the ball, he's creating dead ball situations by attacking the box. Yeah, he is definitely attacking the box. Like we said, you cannot count out his effort in these games. You can see it's there. I just wish we could find some way to get him more in the mix of things and not just have to have him do what, Yorgos did, which is like track all the way back to, help out and build up play, because he realized, like Almada did when he was here too, the ball ain't coming up there. It's not going to make it through the midfield unless you go all the way back and help it out. So.
Yep. Well,
AJ, your face is doing a lot of things.
Is there steam coming out?
I just see like the mouth moving like more than I think it usually does.
It's more enthusiastic.
You're not drinking anything? Like you don't need anything?
I'm not gonna drink anything.
No.
Mm-mm.
It's enthusiastic mastications. That's what we're seeing here.
Good for you.
I mean, my eyes are watering now, but yeah, it's not too bad.
Also, I missed this earlier. Maverick in his cuisine says, and to piggyback on Nick's comments, we absolutely need a leading dog, a guy who isn't necessarily the best on the pitch, but plays hard. I thought it was Saba, but I don't know if he's losing his edge.
Well, he's not getting the ball.
That too, yeah. I mean, he's not like the only guy who's the outlet right now. So, of course, it's spread out. So, it's not going to be as much with him.
Yeah, and last year he was more the guy because he was the only guy that was willing to make things happen. So, I'm actually amazed that I can actually say anything right now. Nope.
It's on.
There it goes.
Tongue's expanding.
Yeah. Justin, going.
Justin Flournoy says Tommy Scoops is in the building. And also, we shouldn't be there if we can win. He's talking about Dyla. He shouldn't be there if we can't win a game in May. And then he says also, for the love of God, can we get Moranchuk out of here? It's that's a lot about, because there's no way they're going to take a heavy loss on Moranchuk. So I think it really depends on the market out there. And hopefully it's suitable to him. So we'll see.
Yeah,
can you get rid of Moranchuk? I don't know if you're going to be able to do that or not.
I know, yeah. That's a heavy
lift. It's going to be difficult.
He's got to build value, and that would be, again, another damning thing that Garth Lagerwey would have to walk back on.
Yeah. Well, it's starting to look more and more like, would you say, Tommy, panic buy?
We're back, baby. We're back. That's what was said.
That's right.
Those are the words that, like, you write on someone's tombstone when something backfires that bad. That's the quote. I mean, and that's why I keep saying, like, I just want to hear something from the front office. Like, I know, like, because then people say, well, what are you going to say? I want to hear him to say something, because Doug keeps going out here saying we're starting franchise history. And, Darren Eales, Carlos, they were on TV all the time. Or not TV, I'm sorry, on 92.9. Every week. It was a scheduled thing. 92.9 doesn't even bring up Atlanta United at all anymore, besides Jason's stuff that he has on there. When he's on there, he's talking about it. But, like, the morning show doesn't talk about it. Like, I go through, I download all the podcasts, listen to them later. You don't see Atlanta United talked about at all. It's like they've disappeared off that radio station besides Jason.
Yeah, I mean, Garth was talking in the beginning of the season, but ever since results started really dropping off, he hasn't. It's completely disappeared.
It's very tough. Yeah, it's basically, they realize that fans aren't caring. It's not getting them clicks. It's not getting them listens. So
and to Tommy's point, it's like, what is he going to say? I don't think he has what he would consider to be like publicly receptive answers at this moment that people will be assuaged by. So that's why he's like, why would I go out there then? If I say, like, I didn't see this coming, because he's famous in my mind for saying that about some of the things that happened last season. So if he goes and says that again, it's like, well, if you're just not seeing calamity after calamity coming over and over again, why do I have any faith in you going forward?
It's cool to be around during the great times, but if you disappear during the hard times, I just don't take you as seriously when you show up and say things like, I'm back.
And it'll be interesting
and
to
look,
see.
I love Garth Lagerwey and Chris Henderson. I think that long term they are going to be good together, because, like, Chris hasn't really had a chance to do anything. He came in like right towards the end of the window, so he hasn't been able to put his stamp on the team yet. So I see people calling for his name. I know when Doug posted that thing about like, you know, how long his contract's for, people are saying he doesn't deserve an extension.
That's
like
insane.
if you quit on these guys now, then that's really bad.
I mean,
it's really
Garth,
bad for
you
the
can have your
franchise.
criticisms of, but Chris, that's absolutely insane. That's insane to call for him. So that's just ignorance about how the team is right now. And then Clayton Baker says Moranchuk isn't going anywhere. Neither is Dyla. Maybe he's got some insider information. He also says them eyes looking red, AJ. So
Are they?
I don't really see them. But careful touching near your eyes with your fingers. Maybe that was a bait to try and get you to do that. All right. So yeah, that's about it.
You're
I guess.
a champ.
Yeah.
He hasn't taken a sip of anything. I keep watching to make sure he doesn't cheat, and this is legit.
Justin
Good.
Flournoy also says, and that would be our downfall this season. So yeah, that's pretty much about it, I think, for us here, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us towards the end, Tommy. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime. But yeah, AJ, I guess with that, you can sign us out.
Indeed. Well, yeah, everyone, thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end, watching this pain in my face happen. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, there's some tears, a little bit of tears, a little bit of swollen tongue, but yeah, we do this for you guys. But yes, for Tommy, for Michael, I've been AJ. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you later. Have a good rest of your night.
Bye-bye.
See ya.